Hi, friends. I'm Jennifer Bittinger, president of Narrativa. Thank you for joining me today to listen to some of our interviews from our advisory board members at Narrativa. These industry leaders have years of experience and expertise and knowledge about what works best in the clinical trial industry. So I hope you will be inspired and encouraged by their insights and their perspective on AI integration and how AI is going to help the clinical trial industry grow and become even more efficient so that we can save more lives. I hope you're encouraged. Thanks. So Lisa, thank you so much for being here today. Great to have you. How have you seen newer technologies changing the clinical industry? We can start there.
All right, sounds good. Well, there's certainly no shortage of technologies out there. And I guess I've witnessed firsthand how several have really had an impact in our clinical research process. I'm thinking of EDC and eSource going way back, early innovations that help make trials more efficient, faster, cost-effective. And now today, it's just amazing. We have all these AI-driven tools optimizing protocols, identifying eligible patients faster, and platforms like iConnect that match patients to trials more precisely, even if they're not eligible for the first try. I just see a lot of these types of tools deepening the patient engagement, increasing the chances of their participation, and making recruitment spend much more impactful. And then, of course, there's decentralized clinical trials, wearables, and real-world data that have opened new doors to patient-centric research, and we saw this particularly during the COVID pandemic. But while some still have some mixed reviews about leveraging technology, overall, I really believe it has made a significant positive impact. And I do feel, however, that slow adoption remains a stubborn barrier. What I see all too often is organizations default to their status quo. That inertia does not come at a cost. Our responsibility in clinical research is, at least how I feel, is not always about convenience. It's about impact. And innovation provides just that. And when innovation is delayed, it's really the patient that loses. And for many patients, even a single day of delay in a clinical trial can mean the difference between life and death. Jeff Bezos, something I always think about is he has always said, don't worry about the competition, just focus on what the customer needs. And, in our clinical research world, we must remember who the real customer is, and that's the patient. We need to push for the progress that truly serves them. I recently joined a gathering in Gstaad, Switzerland of AI and healthcare experts from all around the world, and it was fascinating and invigorating. And the message was so loud and clear. AI is clearly revolutionizing healthcare. The question for me now is whether clinical research will evolve fast enough to keep up with that pace and ensure that all their efforts remain relevant in a rapidly changing world. I think the next 1 to 5 years will be extremely telling.
In what ways are companies in the clinical industry, well, you've touched on this a little bit, in the clinical industry, are they resistant to new AI tools or are they welcoming to AI tools?
Well, I would say the industry falls into 3 camps. Cautiously optimistic, and then selectively resistant, and then a small but growing number, I think, are all in. And they are either thinking about it or they're prioritizing which solutions really will have the most impact within their organization and starting to prepare their organization for that change, or they are going all in, but that group is very few. I think the potential for operational and cost efficiency is undeniable, and I think everybody knows that. I mean, just all the buzzwords. It affects streamlined documentation, accelerated patient recruitment, more efficient data analysis, smarter protocol design. It's all unfolding as we speak. And the companies embracing technology and change management are certainly starting to see these results. Not to mention, AI gives us the ability for precision and personalization, and that's also a game changer. And the real innovators are really starting experiencing this as well. COVID really opened a lot of the quote, innovation doors very quickly, and we saw great success during COVID. But since then, I personally think adoption hasn't necessarily kept up with the pace. In my opinion, what I call cultural inertia remains one of the biggest barriers. Many teams revert to legacy systems and familiar workflows just because it's comfortable or already budgeted for, but not necessarily better, just more comfortable. And the challenge isn't always the technology, it's the mindset. And change management is often the bigger hurdle than the technology itself. There's a lot of great technology out there. And it's really sad to me because change management is as successful as the participating parties allow it to be. So it really doesn't have to be that hard. One person can have a ripple effect on the success of the entire effort, and it needs to be managed and inspired and motivated by leadership appropriately. I know it's hard when you're in the weeds every day. What you're doing might not seem like it's doing anything at all. And you don't really understand how every single effort is cumulative, and it goes into the immense impact in getting new therapies to patients. If people realized how important every little step, every little effort that they make is to the cumulative end result, I'm not sure this would be that difficult. Of course, there are other challenges too, but in my opinion, that could be prevented as well, or at least softened. There's the fragmented infrastructure and multiple siloed vendors that make true integration really tough. And this could also be handled effectively with proper leadership, pre-planning, and strategy. I know it's hard, but a lot of things are hard, and what we are doing is very important. So overall, I think the industry is warming up to AI. The solutions that seem to be gaining the most traction are those that are grounded in clinical logic, or at least what I'm seeing, regulatory, protocol design, real-world evidence, certainly patient recruitment, and patient-centered outcomes. But I truly believe the next few years will really separate the companies willing to evolve from those who may be left behind. And it won't be just about executing studies faster. I think it's also going to be in redefining which therapies, which solutions, which processes are most impactful, valuable, and quite frankly, even relevant in our rapidly changing world. There's a huge paradigm shift going among us. Technology adoption is more commonplace now, but the core challenges remain. It's the outdated infrastructure, the siloed stakeholders, the duplicate vendors, the rigid budgets, and the regulatory complexities. True transformation demands more than great tools. There's plenty of them out there. It requires strategic alignment, cultural change. It requires behavioral change and a clear business case. When we first started this, I always would say we have to go to the top first. Whoever's the top of the food chain, we have to go there first, and we need to get them convinced. And once we got their buy-in, it was a lot of what I called herding cats. Once you got one department on board, then another one would make it more difficult. And the setbacks were many, but the rewards were very well worth it. And the companies that seemed to succeed the most whenever we would do a very huge enterprise-wide implementation were the companies that put a lot of effort into pre-warning their employees and departments that a significant change was about to take place. They would have posters all throughout the campus, getting everybody motivated about this new change that they were about to embark upon. They motivated the employees by emphasizing the importance of their buy-in and their behavioral change. All their effort, all their uncomfortableness in the unknown was connected, always connected, back to we are doing this, we're not doing this, we are doing this, and we were doing it for the best results for the patient. And that message was very loud and clear. They emphasized the purpose, and it did make a huge difference. And it was so wonderful to experience the movement in these types of efforts. And I think that's really where the biggest change and the biggest impacts took place. Transformation is not easy. It takes hard work and persistence. But every time a patient gains access to a potential cure, the struggle is so well worth it. And always keep top of mind three things: innovation, collaboration, and purpose. Because together they are unstoppable. The first person cured in an incurable disease, such as Parkinson's disease, won't just be a statistic. They'll be someone that was a participant in a clinical trial. They're a participant in your mission. There are so many possibilities. We have brilliant people in this industry, and I personally have hope that with the right leadership, the future of healthcare is the brightest it's ever been. And I recognize the challenges and all the bottlenecks and silos, but we just have to get there. And it really does not have to be that hard.